All right, welcome. And thank you everyone for coming. Today, we're going to go through scale your business through emotional healing. I'm so glad to have you with us here today. And we had quite a few people RSVP, so hopefully some more will be joining shortly. Anyway, just to tell you a little bit about myself and what we're doing here today. So as many of you know, I'm a small business owner, Jason Rosado, and I work with service-based business owners. I help them to solve the problem of having too much to do because they're often going in 100, directions, 100 miles an hour, don't have the time, energy that they need to be able to scale their business, to build, to grow, to put time into marketing, into business development, into working with the clients that they really love the most. And doing these things stop them from being able to grow. So that's what I do. I help them to be able to double and triple their business while cutting their work hours so they can have more time for who and what matters most to them. So today I'm going to teach you the number one component of what my clients do to achieve those results. So most small business owners, like I said, they're overworked, understaffed, overstressed, and it causes them to lose a lot of time, energy, momentum in scaling their business and having the life that they want. And just to let you know, I'm not going to do any selling today. So at the end of our class, if you would like to hear more about this subject and how to take this further together, I'll share a little bit about that. But I'm not offering anything for you to buy today, and I don't want your money. Sound good? Yes, thank you. You can chime in. This could be an interactive workshop. That's fine. Um, So, right now, this is the best time to learn about business growth and how emotions impact us as business owners. We're all under tremendous pressure to get more done, to be able to grow and compete. We do have access to a lot of materials on skills of how to grow a business, but there's very little that is truly useful in terms of how to get past the internal struggles that we face that are stopping us. And some of those are things, our own internal fears, worries, doubts, limiting beliefs, limiting behaviors, stress, anxiety, worry, all these things. And what they do is they stop us from being able to make our best decisions. They stop us from being able to take our best actions and move forward and do the things that we say we want to do and being our best selves. That's being able to show up for life, for our family, our personal things, our taking care of ourselves, our health, our hobbies, and also our businesses as stewards, ambassadors to the public, to our clients, to the community, and to staff, for those of us who have staff. So we want to make sure we can be the best leader, be the best person out there for all these things. And in order to do that, we have to get out of our own way. Lots of times when I work with clients, the first thing we do is go through an assessment of where they are now, where they'd love to be a year from now, and what the ultimate business success looks like for them down the road. And then we take a look at what the challenges and struggles are that are stopping them from getting there, because it's really important to be able to figure out, okay, if this is where I am now and this is where I want to go, what's in between, what's the problem? And most business owners don't take the time to do that. They're so busy working in the business, so busy trying to get through everything, trying to handhold clients, put out fires, all the stuff that pops up. They don't have the time and space to figure out, what's my vision? Where do I want this to go? What do I want to look like? What's my role in it? What do I want other people to do? And how do we get there? And then what's stopping us from getting there? So, a lot of times when I dive in with clients and ask them, I say, what's your biggest challenge right now? And of course, a lot of times there's time, money, resources, different things like that. And the overwhelming response I do hear from time to time is me. Just one simple word, me. We are our own biggest challenges. And I kind of mentioned this before. How do we get out of our own way? Well, it's to not be triggered and held in place by fear, stress, worry, doubt, procrastination, indecision. And if we can do that, we would be so much more successful. In other ways, these emotions limit and impact us. It limits our potential and effectiveness with having great conversations with clients, employees, and strategic partners. So we stop ourselves from saying what's on our mind, from having the time and space to do that. It's so much easier to avoid it if it's a difficult conversation, especially, or if it's even something we're really excited about and we really want to talk and tell people about what's going on. but there's a little bit of uncertainty. Maybe it's something we haven't quite achieved yet, or, for whatever reason, there could be like a misalignment between the values of what it is that we say we want to achieve and where we are now, or the action steps in between. So whatever stops us, especially with fears, there's, usually some kind of fear of achieving something, a fear of not achieving it, and that also paralyzes us, or a misalignment of the values, and that stops us. And that's often subconscious. We don't realize that, like, for instance, a lot of us have a value that we don't want to try to sell to people. Well, if we have a business, chances are we're going to have to try to sell to someone at some point in some way. But we don't even think that. We just think, oh, I don't want to be salesy, and we stop ourselves, and we don't know why. We end up not doing that. So other things, like I said, these use up mental energy. We spin our wheels instead of creating and putting great marketing ideas into place, making them happen, taking up our time and focus instead of putting it towards really inspiring visions for the company, sharing that with our staff and our clients, and mentoring them and helping them help us to achieve it. And it interferes with our creativity, our clarity, our passion, our presentation, again, during really valuable sales development, relationship development opportunities, sales conversations, consultations, things like that. And lastly, avoiding, like we mentioned before, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, the activities, initiatives, or projects that we say that we want, but we never seem to get started, or we don't see them through. We often tell ourselves that we do these things because we don't have the skills, we don't have the strategies or the resources that we need to make them happen. And yes, those can play a role, but the truth is, that's so funny. I wasn't about to say that, and it came right up. But the truth is, if we get our mental state clear and flowing, then the inspiration, the creativity, our intuition all get turned on at a much higher level. And it helps us to learn what we need to do, helps us to figure out ways to get those strategies, those resources, and be able to make it happen, whether that means doing the things ourselves or hiring or outsourcing to others. It's about getting into action. And what I tell my clients is it's about taking focused, inspired, strategic actions that help us to carry the business forward. So if you resonate with any of that, what I've mentioned so far, and if you find yourself stuck in a rut, procrastinating, sometimes maybe afraid to pick up the phone to make an important phone call, or have a difficult conversation with an employee or a client, or not, or, for whatever reason, not achieving the personal or team sales goals that you want and that you're capable of, then you are in the right place. So I just want to tell you real quick about me, just to kind of put more of this into context. So I love teaching. I love working with people. I love mentoring, coaching, all that stuff. And it really comes from my background. I started teaching music when I was in 8th grade. When I was 13 years old, I taught private instrument lessons for a Boy Scout drum and bugle corps that I belonged to, which then I advanced in rank as well and became an Eagle Scout a year later. Continued teaching, and then when I was 16, I became the corps musical director. So, I had this 40 to 50 piece musical ensemble that I rehearsed, directed, and brought them into performance. So that was a really big part of my upbringing. And then I had some other part-time jobs as a teenager that I didn't mention here, among them being a restaurant manager, being a janitor, being a caddy. I liked being a janitor more than I liked being a caddy. So, and I went to University of Illinois. I was actually at both campuses, Champaign and Chicago. Studied communication as a major, psychology as a minor, and focuses among both those were in leadership, adult learning and motivation, interpersonal dynamics, organizational communication, cultural communication. Again, this is just how all this, teaching, coaching, mentoring came into my life through all these different activities. So there was, I was a small business manager, a restaurant partner, and then a corporate leader and trainer. So that spanned, that corporate and small business was from 1989 to 2006. Then I went into coaching, and I went through Coach U, got certified in 2006 as a life and business coach, and then got certified as a big money business coach in 2014. Just got certified last year as an AI business coach. That's been a lot of fun working with AI, helping my clients brainstorm, come up with ideas. If they'll ask me a question, I don't quite know the answer. Maybe I'm not real familiar with their industry. Like, for instance, one of my clients who owns a painting company said, one of my challenges right now, he came to one of his sessions, said, this week, my challenge is I have one one person on my staff who just is a slow worker. How can I get them to be a faster painter? And I was like, well, I've never painted houses. I don't exactly know, but I do understand training in general. So let's go to ChatGPT. And I typed into ChatGPT, for example, I said, based on the analogy that for a runner to become a faster runner, they need to practice every day. They need pointers on how to be coached and mentored and the right things for them to do and what to focus on. Please create a training outline to improve the speed or increase the speed of a house painter with his manager working with him. And then put that in ChatGPT, and it gave this incredible step-by-step process for my client to follow as a training guide to work with his team member. And it worked really, really well. So there's some really interesting things we can do with AI. Obviously, how to processes and procedures, but also marketing and brainstorming, coming up with the things. And I don't think you should use AI to put stuff in and then make that your final draft of anything. But it's helped me so much and cut down so much time, work efforts. Anyway, kind of a tangent there. But that's also part of getting clear on your emotions and things. If you think like, oh, I don't know how to do this, there are more tools now than ever that can help us do things that we never thought we could do before, we haven't learned about. Another cool thing about AI in that realm is if you don't know how to use it, you can go to ChatGPT and ask it, here's what I need done. How should I ask you? And it will tell you exactly what to say to it. So it's pretty incredible from that standpoint. Anyway, as you know, the whole reason we're here, 5 times certified emotion and energy healing master, and that's at multiple levels, devoted father and husband. And personally, I love Star Trek, love playing volleyball, and also love international travel. What this all means is that I've got over 30 years. I was actually calculating it out last night. I think it was about 38 years being of service in teaching, mentoring, coaching, and developing people. That includes leaders, employees, and organizations. 18 years of coaching hundreds of small business owners. I've had clients all over the world, and I was named one of the top coaches on the planet by Future Force Inc. So I like teaching by demonstration. So I want to share with you a testimonial, kind of like a case study, one of my clients and how this worked in this topic that we're in today. So Nick, who is an acupuncturist, he's co-owner of his acupuncture practice. His problem when we started working together, was that he was starting and stopping various marketing and networking activities because they would not work, and he would get discouraged. He would stop it. He would come across something else that would really inspire him and get him excited. He'd start that. It wouldn't work. He'd stop. He'd get discouraged. And this was going on for a while before we met. So going in through the techniques, I'm going to share, like I said, one of the top techniques that I use with my clients. And this is what Nick and I did together. So Nick, of course, being an acupuncturist and familiar with Eastern medicine, and not that all my clients aren't familiar with Eastern medicine or metaphysical stuff or healing, but when they are, or even when they're not, but they get excited about it, it's tremendous, and results can happen very quickly. So for Nick, yes, we did work a bit on some skills. We worked on networking, we worked on sales, how to find win-win situations from the people he was already working with, as well as people who he meets at networking events and in different organizations that he's involved with. So yeah, we did work on some skill things, but really the biggest thing that he did was I taught him this process that I'm going to teach you, and he used it. And he went home in between sessions. Of course, we worked on it with sessions. I think of myself as like a personal trainer for energy healing and emotional healing, where you come to the gym, so to speak. We work together, and I help you to figure out how to best use this for where you're stuck right now. So Nick and I did this, and he did also in between sessions, which was tremendous. And the result was that in 3 months, he doubled his patient load of the acupuncture practice, tripled the revenue. And he was able to do that while he cut his work hours, cut his stress. One of his side hobbies was teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he didn't have the time or energy to do that before we started working together. He did a little bit. So he was able to increase that a lot and take on more classes. And that also filled up his cup, filled up his energy, filled his spirit. And that also helps. So you see how the things are cyclical. You are able to make time and space for yourself. And then while you're doing that, the things that you're able to do now, the passions that you're able to, the clients that you love working with that you weren't able to work with before, now you're able to do those more, and those give you even more energy and focus and momentum. So that's, what happened with Nick. Lucia, very similarly, she was an interior designer and she had 3 niches, but very few clients. So we worked together and helped her to narrow down to just one niche, which was really hard for her. And the reason it was so hard is fear, right? Just the fear of, well, if I let these 2 niches go or one niche go, will I be able to get as many clients as I need? And 2 of those niches that she wasn't that passionate about, she strategically and quite intelligently put together, because she found a space. So she's an interior designer and she found a part-time job in a real estate office that had about 50 agents. So she can network with them, get to know them, and feel like, yeah, if I do that, I can really help to get some business here in the door. So her other 2 niches were professional organizing and staging homes. And she was getting most of the business in staging, and that was the thing that she liked the least. She really didn't like doing that. Professional organizing, number 2, that was the middle thing. And the interior design, which was her big passion, she had very little business from. So we worked together, again, letting her release the emotional blocks, the fear about just being an interior designer. What would happen then? Well, I wouldn't have any clients. And I work part-time at this firm so I can get, make these introductions. And I am getting hired for some staging, but no, 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 no. I understand that's what your emotional or your analytical brain's telling you. Forget that. Let's just figure out where the emotions are and get clear of the fear so that then you can be in flow, you can be creative, you can show up, with your strength and really show people who you are and how great you are at what you do. And we did that. And we worked together for 6 months. She narrowed down to one niche and her business completely took off when she went into the interior designer. She ended up quitting that part-time job because it was taking away so much time and energy for her. She wasn't able to focus on her clients. So it's really amazing. And Erica, so she owns a real estate firm. Same thing. She was working a ton of hours. That was really eating at her. It was taking so much time from her, stressing her out. She had a staff of realtors that she was providing leads for. She was doing a lot of the marketing for, and she had very little time to work on her own clients and the things that she really loved doing the most. So we worked together, and in a year, she was able to focus her team. She was able to make them better, again, by releasing a lot of the emotional blocks of what that means, letting them fend for themselves. Oh my gosh, I've been there for them for years. I've helped them. I've, nurtured them. Yes, maybe it's time for them to do that for their own selves. What would happen? Well, I don't know. They might fail. They might, but let's get rid of the fear in you, and then you'll know. You'll know, very clearly, is this the right thing to do? Does it make sense to continue nurturing them, feeding them leads, helping them, or will they be able to do it on their own? Or if you're there as a better leader, a better role model for them, maybe that will help them to be better at what they do. So we did that. And yes, we did also work on some strategy and some networking and some positioning with her. But all that said, a huge part of this was helping her to release the fear that was holding her back and being able to focus on her own business, being the owner, not so much the manager, and then, working with her own clients. And in one year, her agency grew by 214%. So she more than tripled the entire agency's revenue. She cut her stress, cut her work hours by 25%. And then we worked together again, and she doubled her business that year. And then we worked together a third time, and she doubled it again. So she actually, out of working together for 3 years, she got 1,200% growth over, and an incredible team, an incredible agency. But just that first year, just letting go of those things and being able to feel okay with that, having confidence in herself and in her team helped her to triple her business for the entire agency, which was amazing. Um, and I will tell you about Greg later, and I'll tell you about Simona later. I think these slides were a little out of order, so I apologize for that. So let's get into why we're here specifically. So how do we make all this happen? I mean, I think all this stuff sounds pretty amazing. These things that I've been able to do, my clients have been able to do. The problem is we are naturally wired to have limiting thoughts and beliefs, and behave in ways that limit what we're consciously want to do or achieve. So like I said before, the way to do that, what we normally do is we try to outthink ourselves. We try to tell ourselves, and we hear this from society, we hear this from leaders, we've been programmed. We grew up with our teachers telling us, different people in our, leaders in different organizations, um, even gurus, famous personalities, famous coaches, and all kinds of people. They say things like, "You need discipline. You need to grin and bear it." If I, look what everything that I've been through in my life, and by perseverance, grit, determination, I was able to conquer all this and achieve all this that I've achieved in my life. And I'm nobody. I didn't, come from anywhere special. You can do this too. And that's great. And it's really motivating. And what I found happens with most people is they're pumped up for about 30 seconds, and then they go back to their regular life and not much changes. And I actually think that when people, uh, this is sort of a mixed thing. Yes, it's great to hear motivational things, especially online, in videos, in talks we go to, books we read. But also when the message is really short and it's just, I did it, so you can do it, that makes it really hard for a lot of people, because not everybody is wired the same way. And most people are wired, we are naturally wired for safety. We are naturally wired to avoid risk, you know, to 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 stay away from things that will, might hurt us, might cause us pain. And although we can get past that sometimes, a lot of times we still are stuck in that hard wiring, because it's what's kept us alive as a species over the eons and allowed us to be here. So that's why we subconsciously sabotage our own efforts and our own intention without knowing it, right? Again, I mentioned earlier about procrastination. A lot of times that's a misalignment of values. We are afraid to do something that we say we want, because subconsciously we don't want to be salesy. We don't want to be manipulative. We have fears about, who am I? Imposter syndrome. Who am I to be selling this stuff? Or who am I to be telling my employee that they need to buck up and do what I'm saying, because I don't do that in my job. I'm asking them to do something that I don't. And that's okay. It's okay to ask people to do things that you don't. It's okay to stand in your greatness and talk about your achievements and be there as a role model for your clients, and for your employees. It's totally okay to do all that. We need to do that. And when we do that, that's how we can really unleash our potential. We can free our thoughts and emotions from, as I like to say, the stranglehold of our subconscious mind, because we really do. And we do a number on ourselves. So we can end procrastination, uncertainty, fear, indecision, the blocks that stop us from making these really important actions and getting to where we want with our business. So again, I'm going to show you how to do this. And in using this technique, yes, you will be able to improve business strategy, marketing, sales, networking, leadership, time management, all these great things. And you can double and triple your business in 6 to 12 months, like many of my clients do. So let me just make sure I'm on the right slide here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Here's what I would like for you to do. And if there's anybody who would like to volunteer to help, that would be great. I think we're actually not sharing video right now, but we are sharing audio. And let me do one thing. All right, I was actually trying to get myself over here into the screen, because I know I haven't been on camera here, even though I wanted to. Like I said earlier, when we started, I was having some problems with the share screen. So anyway, would anybody love to volunteer to help us out? Again, you're not on video, it's just audio, so it's pretty anonymous. Just unmute yourself and say yes if you'd like to. What we're going to do is walk you through this process to release any internal subconscious block that you may have. And I can't guarantee that, in the next 15 minutes, we'll get you through to the other side, but I certainly think we'll make some headway, and we might be able to clear you of it completely. So if somebody would
Hear
like some
me?
help, I'm sorry,
Can you
who's
hear
that?
me?
Yes.
Rhonda.
Rhonda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi.
So good. It's been a while. Good to
I
connect.
know, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
surprised you remember me.
Oh, I do. I do. Yeah. When I saw your name come through on the registration, I was like, "Yay, Rhonda! Awesome."
Wow.
Cool.
Okay.
So, yeah, what is it like? What comes to mind for you that it could be a block for you right now?
I always uh, default to finances, but it may be a little bit of what happens if this takes off? How
Hmm.
will I be able to
Yeah.
manage all the pieces?
Yeah. Okay. That's really common. That's right. The biggest reasons people don't move forward to the level they want or as fast as they want are fear of failure. Like, oh, what if it doesn't work? And fear of success. What if this does work? There's
Well,
gonna
not
be
so
more.
much fear of success, but how will I manage it?
Yeah,
How,
well, that's right.
how-
Yeah, to me, that's a fear of success because there'll be so
okay.
much more on your plate. Yes, how will you manage it? There might be more people counting on you. You're responsible for more. It's kind of an analogy of this is when we got pregnant with our son, uh, both of us, for some reason, thought it was going to be a girl before we found out the sex.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and just because like our friends were having girls, and I don't know, we just kind of both thought it was going to be a girl.
Hmm.
And then when we found out it was a boy, and so I was thinking like, okay, so it's going to be a girl. My wife's going to have to be a really great mom, and I know she will. She'll be awesome. She's going to be a role
Hmm.
model. Of course, I'll be there too. And then we found out it was a boy. I was like, uh-oh, time to step up to the plate now. In a much bigger way than I had realized when I thought I was, when I heard I was going to be a parent.
Hmm.
Kind of the same thing, in our businesses. When we grow and we expand, more people counting on us, more responsibility. How do we handle it all? More pieces to the puzzle, more demands on our time.
And you
Any
know,
one of those and probably 100 others can stop us subconsciously from
man, the visibility too.
visibility. Okay. Oh, I've been there, done that. Bought the shirt. Uh, totally understand. Yes. Okay. So what we normally do is, whether we're working with a coach or we're working with a therapist or even just a friend or a mentor or whatever, is we say, well, what's one of those that's really stopping us? And I would ask you, well, which one of those do you think is stopping you the most? And you would tell me it's the visibility. I'm maybe putting some words in, or this is just examples. So I'm not saying this is specifically for you, Rhonda. Maybe I'm afraid of getting out there, afraid of being known, afraid of whatever. Some people don't love being in the spotlight. Some people just want to be in the background and be really steady at their jobs. And, this goes back to management. You have to know what motivates people because a lot of us assume more money motivates people, incentives, raises, title changes, public acknowledgement. And for a
Hmm.
lot of people, like none of those things do it. But as managers, we're always trying to throw those at people and then they don't perform better. And we go, what's going on? How come this isn't happening? But a lot of clients go through this. Anyway, sometimes it's visibility and they don't want to be visible. So anyway, like I said, I don't know that, this is specifically your issue, but the good thing is the process I'm going to teach you right now and walk you through so everybody else take notes or everybody else, actually what I would recommend is when I said what's stopping you or challenging you, think of something in your own life or your own business that you're having a tough time getting over that hump. And then think about that. Just think about the challenge itself. Don't try to think about a solution. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to relax all the muscles in your body. We're just going to do this for a few minutes just to give you a taste of it.
Hmm.
So relax all the muscles in your body. Are you sitting down, Rhonda?
I am.
Awesome. Great. Great. And if it helps, you can close your eyes.
Oh,
That
okay.
helps a lot. Yep. And now I want you to feel into your body. So you think about growing the business, all the extra responsibility, maybe the visibility, whatever it is that is not, giving you a little bit of angst about moving forward, about achieving the results that you want.
Mm.
And I want you to let me know, can you actually feel it anywhere in your body? Like a tightness, a fluttering, a nervousness, a pain, a dull ache, or anything might be in your abdomen or in your heart or lungs, or it could even be in your head. It could be anywhere in your body, but are you able to feel
Like right here, like my throat.
your throat?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, perfect. That's awesome. It's not
Hmm.
awesome that you have it, but it's awesome that you've been able to identify it. That gets
Hmm.
you halfway there. Um, and it is awesome that you have it because this is a very normal thing. We all have it. This
Hmm.
is our subconscious trying to tell us, "Ooh, you're starting to make me scared. Please keep me safe." And it's like yelling at us, but through a physical sensation, not through our logical mind or analytical mind.
Hmm.
So I want you to focus in on that feeling in your throat. Focus and put all of your awareness on it. So I don't want you to think about what this is, where it came from, how to solve it, what emotion it is, why it's there, what about this problem is making none of that. I want you to completely stay out of your head, out of the analytical part of your mind, and completely stay in your body, just feeling the sensation. Just feel into the feeling on a physical level. So put all of your awareness on it, put all of your consciousness on it. And if it helps, here's a few things to do. What shape is it? Is it like round or a box or kind of shapeless or a cloud or what kind of
Like an
shape?
oval.
Oval. Okay, great. And what about the density? Is it like soft, hard, wispy, something else?
My first thought is like that film over the boiled egg. That's
Oh,
the first
yeah.
thought I had.
Okay, cool. That's very descriptive. That's great. And it doesn't matter. So for what we're doing, this is just to help you get in touch with the feeling itself. It doesn't matter what shape it is, some people know what color it is, if it's hot, if it's cold. Excuse me. But it's great to be able to feel into all those things, and it helps your mind let go of all the thoughts and the emotion along with it. Just feel into, hey, what does this feel like? So I want you to do that. And then the last thing I want to ask you is on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being it's gone, and 10 is the feeling is the most intense. What number is it at right now?
I'm gonna say like a 4.
4. Perfect. Great. And again, the number, if it's real small or real big, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean this is a big problem or a little problem, or it's easy to get past or hard to get past. It just means how intensely we're feeling it in that moment. Yeah, it's very arbitrary. It really doesn't, don't read into it. The size of it, the shape, the hardness, the number.
Mm.
But these are things just for us to be able to put our focus, our consciousness and awareness on it. So we are really in tune with it. So
Mm.
great. It's 4. It's there. It's oval. I also want you to take either 1 or 2 fingers, whatever feels the most comfortable, and point to it. So I want you to point to that spot in your throat. And as we start going through this process, it might start moving. If it does, I want you to follow it with your finger or fingers. That also helps us to keep our awareness and focus on it. So I want you to do all that. Again, relax all the muscles in your body. Just, I like to picture myself as like butter. I'm just melting into the chair, completely letting go of any muscle resistance, any thoughts, anything at all, any angst, any anger, any worry, just being completely 100% at ease, still allowing that feeling to be there, allowing yourself to feel it fully. So in your throat. And I want you to start sending it love. So send it love, send it light, send it warmth. You can breathe into it and give it breath. Don't resist it. Don't try to push it aside. Allow it to be there fully and feel into it fully. Actually surrender to it. Surrender to the feeling, give into it. Allow for it to be there. So let down all resistance to it. Let all your thoughts, let your mind completely go blank, except for feeling into that physical sensation and sending it love. And are you able to do that, Rhonda?
I think so.
Great. Good,
Yeah.
good, good, good. You're doing great. So I want you to stay with that feeling, send it love, send it warmth. If it wants to expand in your body, let it expand. Expanding is great. If it wants to get smaller, let it do that. If it wants to move, change locations, if it wants to change shape, if it wants to get stronger, go up from a 4, that's okay. If it wants to get less intense and go down, that's okay. Let it do anything it wants to do. So all changes, even if it gets worse or more intense, all changes are good. It means it's working itself out. And I'm right here with you. That's right. And so this is an emotional healing technique. Like I said, this is the one that I use with my clients to help them get the biggest results.
Mm.
And I'm going to do some emotional testing over here. I'm sorry, some energetic testing and maybe some energetic support to help the process along. Not that you need it, you don't. It does help it to go a little bit faster. Let me test. Yes, no. It's optimal. It's optimal to do some energetic healing for Rhonda around this. Yes, this is true. Yes. It's optimal not to. No, it is optimal to. Okay, we'll do that. Rhonda, let me ask you on a scale of 0 to 10, how intense is the feeling right now?
It doesn't feel as intense as it was when I first started. It feels a lot
A
less
lot
right
less. Awesome. Great. And on a scale of 0 to 10, how intense would you say it is right now?
maybe a 2.
2. Fantastic. Okay. Like I said, if it does get stronger, if anybody else is doing this along with us, and I recommend you do, if it does get stronger, that's okay. That's totally okay because that it's just temporary and it's going to come back down again. So 2 is fantastic.
Mm.
Keep sending it love. Part of me doesn't even want to do the energy healing on you because I want you to do this yourself. um, but that's why I tested to figure out if it's optimal for me to help you, through this or for you to do it on your own. This is also what I do with my clients. I walk them through some different healing techniques. This is one of them. I want them to learn it, to get good at it. I think this is like going to the gym. I teach you how to do it,
Mm.
and you can do this for this is a tool now in your toolbox forever for the rest of your life.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. And I still love working with clients because they're going to be able to come back, each week when we get together to work and have somebody guiding them through it. And
Mm.
it's not always easy to do. And it even if I send you the outline of the steps and I say do this and I walk you through it once or twice, um, it's like going to the gym. Yes, I know the gym's there. Yes, I know how to use the equipment. Am I going to get up and go and do it? I might not.
Right.
So again, and practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yeah, having a facilitator until you feel confident enough to do it on your own is what it sounds like
Exactly.
you're
Exactly.
describing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to test again because maybe now you don't even need the energetic support. But let's see. Yes. No. Yes. It's optimal to help Rhonda energetically. Yes, this is true. Something we need to know or surface. Yes, this is true. It's not true. This is true. Yes. All right. Rhonda knows what this is. I know what this is. No, Rhonda knows what this is. All right. So in this process, for the emotion clearing, like I said, I want you to keep all your thoughts blank. For the energy clearing that I can help to do with you and for you, sometimes there is something we need to know out loud. Um, I don't know exactly what you're working on, and I do want to keep your anonymity. So I want you to just say, is there something that's coming up in your mind right now about this challenge? Allow your mind to go ahead and start thinking. What comes up for you about this challenge? Or you don't have to tell me out loud if you don't want to. Just can you put your finger on it? Like whatever thoughts coming up for you.
I think I'm too relaxed.
Oh, okay.
I yawned.
Okay. Well, let's go back. Let's test in then. On a scale of 0 to 10, how intense is the feeling?
I wonder if the yawn is trying to get rid of the intensity because it
Mm,
felt like it went up a little bit and then I started feeling like I had to yawn.
okay. All right. let me check on that. I can actually test that for you. Yes, no. So the yawn is interfering with the emotional clearing. Yes, this is true. Yes, that's interesting. Okay. It's optimal for Rhonda to yawn more. Yes, this is true. It's optimal for yawn less. No, more. All right, it's optimal to keep doing that. I think even though it made it more intense, it might be helping the process also. So if you can muster up some yawns, or maybe, you know what, maybe that's actually symbolic. Your mind is producing that. Here's so my intuition just told me this might be about fatigue and being tired. So it's either moving forward with the business, the thought of that might be tiring, or the idea of when you get to where you want to be, you might be tired or run down. It might be tied into that. That's sort of what my intuition is saying. Let me test that. Yes. No. Okay, this is true. Yes. 100%. Yes. This is not true. No. This is true. Yes. When I do testing, I do a cross test. I test one thing. If I get a yes, then I test the opposite to make sure it's a no. It's like verification. So that's why you hear me saying all these different things. So I think, does that sound like it might be onto something? The whole idea of this growing and
Yeah, yes.
some fatigue.
I mean,
Okay.
ooh, it is
Yeah.
exhausting when I just think
Oh, okay.
about
So
what
that's
done
what the
so
yawns related.
far and the things that I know that I have to do to move forward.
Okay. Okay. All right. I hear you. I feel you. You've been there many, many, many times. Was there 2 nights ago? As I was actually working on the presentation. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Okay.
Okay.
So on a scale of 0 to 10, how intense is it right now?
I feel like it's moved up to like about a 5 maybe.
Okay. Cool. That means we're bringing more stuff to awareness for you.
Mm.
Yeah, it's more stuff to work through. Then, again, so I didn't want this webinar to go too long, masterclass to go too long. So let's do
Yeah,
this. Let me test. It's optimal to continue working with Rhonda right now. No, this is true. Yes. All right. So Rhonda, do you feel a little bit better in having a tool now that you can do to use, to help you
absolutely.
go forward with this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Awesome. That's great. That's great. Good. So here's what I would like you to do. I want you to keep feeling into that if you have the time and space right now to do that. And I'm just going to go through the last couple slides, together. And then actually, if you want to connect, I'll show you, we can talk more about that too.
Oh, sounds great.
Awesome. And thank you so much. Let's give it up for Rhonda for being a really, really awesome volunteer and being vulnerable and helping us out and doing that. And I know it's not easy. And I really appreciate you for that. And thank you so much. So just again, to talk about my, clients, typical client results. A lot of times when we go through this process, I do help them also, like I said, with strategy, with upgrading their skills in areas like organizational development, leadership, sales, networking, how to get clients through those things, time management, stress reduction, communication, all these business things, revenue model, uh, pricing, all these different areas. But that said, working on the emotional is the biggest piece of the puzzle. And that's why we're working on this today. When my clients do this, they usually see their revenue increase by 50 to 300%. Within that, usually it's double or triple, and that can happen within 6 months to a year, sometimes faster. I shared earlier my client Nick, who tripled his practice in 3 months. I had a client, Greg, who we actually weren't working on revenue multiplication for him. He was working 80 hours a week. He owns a property development firm, and he wanted to work 2 hours a week. So that is a 97.5% decrease of hours. And in using these techniques and getting him more confident with himself, more confident with his staff, and yes, we worked a little bit on some staff training, to make them better. But the big area again was building his confidence and using the healing techniques to make that happen. We got him there from 80 hours to 2 hours working together in just 1 month. I think that's pretty astonishing and remarkable. And I'm so happy for Greg that he was able to do that, because the work he was in, most of my clients love what they do. He did not love what he did. He had some other passion areas that he really wanted to focus on. So we were able to make that happen for him. Like I said, so reduction in work hours, amount of work that you're responsible for. And this gives you more time for new business activities, for your friends, for your health, for your family, to have social life, to these things. And I want to help you do this. I want to help you achieve all these things that I've seen, again, hundreds of clients achieve over the last 18 years. The importance of using the emotional healing technique that I shared today in your everyday life and making the time and space to do that is huge. So even doing it just once a week can provide huge dividends in your business growth and your personal lifestyle improvements. And doing it on an ongoing basis just makes it amazing, because the more you do it and you have somebody who's been certified multiple times, guiding you through it, helping you to see the nuances and know how to. So that was sort of a base level. There are multiple advanced levels of the healing technique that we did today. And I share that with all my clients and teach them how to do that, as well as support you energetically and help you do that. But you have to take the time to do the work. You have to practice it. As with anything, like I said before, the more you practice it, the better you get. And then the results snowball, pardon me. So I want to help you to put that time and framework in place and structure. I'm trying to move get me over there so you can still see me. That's all right. To give your business the time and space that you need to do this technique to get the results. And then I'll also help you plan out what the perfect business income lifestyle look like for the next 12 months and beyond, what those challenges are, so you can identify those, you know what to work on, what skills, strategies, and operational improvements you need to make in order to make this happen, see your perfect business come to fruition. So it's complimentary right now. The business breakthrough coaching session, I normally charge $500 for this. And because you're here today, because you took the time, stepped up and said, yes, I want this help, I want to gift you with this session. I love doing this. People get tremendous results just from this one session. We gain so much focus and clarity on what you need, where you are now, what you need to do to go forward. So this is on the phone. If you're international, we do Zoom, but we don't share camera, just so you can be really, in your own thoughts, and I can be in my thoughts. So we want to define and clarify what your perfect business, your organization, the support you need, whether it's from me, from employees, from somebody else, whatever it is, the income and the lifestyle look like for the next 12 months and beyond. We want to help you to uncover the challenges and even the hidden blind spots that could be holding you back, interfering, or sabotaging your efforts to get there. Another thing we want to do during this time together is help you to create a really motivating and energizing 3-stage plan to move forward over the coming year to achieve your goals faster than you thought possible. Because a year is really a long time to get a ton accomplished, more than we realize. And you can see that light at the end of the tunnel. But it's also long enough that when you're going through it on your own, you're not taking the time to set that vision, it feels just like, you can't get much done. Or you have too big of a vision and you say, I'm going to do this, and you pile everything on your plate, and then you don't get very much done. So either way, and I love helping my clients bridge that gap from the short term to the long term, and then put the steps in place. What do you need to do to get there? So we work on all that for you during the session. I want you to leave the session feeling renewed, re-inspired, and re-energized about seeing your business bring you everything that your heart desires. And to schedule that, you can just go to my website, to distinctivecoaching.com/session. And I'll also go ahead and put that in the chat. And that way you can just click on that link, or you can type it into your browser. So of course it's not letting me do that. I should type it out. Distinctive Coach. I had it pasted in there. .com/session. All right. I think I got that right. And I can't test that myself. Just make sure that is in fact the right link, because then I'll lose the screen share on the presentation. Can somebody click on that for me and let me know if that brought you to the right place, the scheduling page for this session?
It does.
Awesome. Great. So yeah, like I said, this is a $500 session. Right now I've got some open client slots, and I love doing this just to help people out. So it's complimentary. And for an extra bonus here, for the first 5 people to book the session, I'm also going to give you one of the worksheets and guides that I work on with my clients that I give them. So this is the business income and strategy planning worksheet. So it's the same one my clients use to simplify their vision, goals, and create time-bound action steps. and objectives to make their business and their lifestyle vision a reality. And I'm happy to give that to the next 5 people who go ahead and book. And I can't wait to do this with you. I hope this was really helpful. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, jason@distinctivecoaching.com, or get me on Facebook, LinkedIn, however it was that we found each other, however it was that you came across this session today. I hope this was really valuable for you. Like I said, this is a fantastic process. Take it home, work on it. And I do highly recommend stepping up to have that session with me, so we can do some more work together, help you to, hone in on that vision, get your business exactly where you want, give you the tools that you need to get there, create the map, the outline, the plan. And then, like I said, for the first 5 people who book a session, I'll give you the business income and strategy outline as well, planning worksheet. So thanks so much for coming, everyone. I really appreciate it and can't wait to speak more. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jason. Bye.
Welcome. Bye.